My question I'd like to ask is, I want to know how to stay positive and have a happy marriage when the other partner is really negative. I meditate, I'll be in a happy mood, and man, bam, she hits me with this stuff, and she always wants to talk about the negative. And I'll tell her, hey, I don't want to talk about negative, I want to talk about the positive. And it's been a real struggle, especially since we just had a 2-month-old baby. And it's really hard on me. So I'm kind of, I've practiced it, I'm trying it. It works really well in a lot of areas of my life, but this one is the hardest.
Someone offered the word compassion to Esther a while back, and Esther wondered if she knew what it meant, because she thought it was a bit like empathy or sympathy. And so she sat with us and asked about it, because she could feel something important in it. And we explained to her that what true compassion is being in the receptive mode and focused on someone so that your viewpoint is including the viewpoint of your source. So what that means is, when you're in that kind of alignment, because you meditated, or because you were off on your own, because you wanted to be, because you practiced it, and then someone comes into your experience and is even attacking you or coming at you in some way, if you are solid in your alignment, then you experience what true compassion is, which is being able to hear them with no risk or threat of it taking you out of the receptive mode. And you see, that's really what the struggle that you feel is about, because sometimes we would hear people say, Abraham, I've really been doing this and I'm getting really good at it, but those people at work are so negative, because they're worried that their positive place will be eroded or is threatened by negative that is around them. And we want you to understand that it doesn't have to be, that your attention to your alignment can be so practiced that you really can stand in that place where you're not threatened by it and you don't get defensive. In fact, you just understand it like the source within you understands it. It takes some practice, but it's the only place that true freedom will ever come from, because if you need others around you to be positive before you can maintain your positivity, you can't go very far. You might have to spend a lot of time in your van at the beach alone.
I understand.
But when you are in true alignment, then you can be anywhere, under any condition. So we know that's a helpful basis. Do you want something else?
Do you have any positive affirmations or a focus wheel that I could do, that I could put myself more in the receptive mode to stay there?
So let's say that you are apart and you are on your way to rendezvous with this person. Now, is she having a hard time because of a new baby?
It's kind of been off and on, but the new baby makes it harder. And it's just, everything is negative, and she likes to play the blame game. And I don't like the blame game. But that's one of those things where she's the one person that can push my buttons out of everybody I've ever known. A lot of people can't push my buttons, but she knows what buttons to push. And it's a blame game that we like to play.
When someone knows what buttons to push, what you're really saying is, they know where my vulnerability is.
Yes.
And where your vulnerability is in your inability to maintain your alignment even though you want to. And so we think you're starting with a false assumption. We think you're starting with the assumption that she wants you to feel bad and she's working toward that end deliberately. And we know for sure that that's not the case. She just feels bad and can't therefore say anything that causes herself or anyone else to feel good. And so that's where that compassion comes in, because once you understand that, then you can feel a little better about it. And we want to play with you a little bit, maybe a little stubbornly and harshly, by saying, you're playing the blame game too.
I know.
Because
and I don't want to.
You're blaming her for you not being in alignment. You're blaming her for pushing your buttons. And we want your buttons to be unpushable.
Me too.
We want somebody to just push it and it just push it, and it just bounces right back. You just can't push that button. You just can't push that button. Just can't push that button because you've practiced standing in your place of knowing. So when she pushes your button, what's the thing that she, if you want to, that she says that pushes your button the quickest or the loudest?
When she asks me a question over and over and I've already answered it, that kind of pushes my buttons. Or
can you imagine how we feel?
Or
you see, we're happy to have the same question because we know it isn't because we didn't answer well. It's because you weren't in the receptive mode. That could help you a lot. In other words, it isn't that you haven't answered it, it's that she's not in a place to receive it. What is a question that she asks over and over again that you answer that she hasn't yet heard the answer to?
it could be a lot of things like, do you want to work on our relationship? And I'll say, yes, but I want to be happy. She says, well, you're not answering my question. I say, well, yes, I do, but I really want to be happy. That's, I want to be happy. And she said, but you're not answering my question. And I said, I have answered your question.
So you be her and we'll be you. So you ask us the question.
Okay. Do you want to stay together?
Well, we want the other question first.
Which question?
Do you want to work on our relationship?
Oh, do you want to work on our relationship? Do you want to work on our relationship?
All day, every day, for as long as I live. But you see, you took issue right away. You said, yes, but. Yes, but. And when you said, yes, but I want to be happy, what she heard you say was, yes, but I don't think it's going to work out with us because I want to be happy and you don't want to. In other words, she's reading a whole bunch into it because you've put it there. She's not making all of it up, just some of it. So just ask us further questions because we're going to give you some answers that will diffuse the situation right away. I thought I wanted this relationship when it was just the two of us, but now it's the three of us. I want it more than ever. That's the truth, isn't it?
Yes.
Don't you think she would love to hear that? And what might she say that would make you feel defensive again? Because you can keep it coming if you're really feeling.
Well, I don't think you really want it because you don't show it or you don't communicate it right.
Well, I mean to show it, and I'm working on showing it more. And I know that I feel it, and I'm working on feeling it more.
And so there's other things, but basically, yes, that's our biggest thing. And I don't know what it is, but she'll wait until it's too late to do something, then blame me for it.
But you know what's happening? We're not disagreeing with anything that you are saying is going on. But this is something that for sure is happening. For whatever reason, it doesn't matter how you got here.
Yes.
And we are certain that you have justification for being here. But you are in a very defensive feeling place where it feels to you like she's just attacking you all the time. And what's so interesting about that is that she's asking for reassurance, which you are not wanting to give her. She's asking for reassurance, but she's asking for it in a way that makes you feel attacked. And since you feel attacked, you're responding as if you've been attacked, which doesn't reassure her. So since she asks for more reassurance, which makes you feel attacked, and then you respond to the attack that you feel, which doesn't reassure her. So it's just this cycle that can never end until somebody decides to break the cycle. So we want to ask you some questions just to see, do you feel like you're under attack?
A lot of times, yes.
And do you feel that those attacks are justified? The answer is no, of course. Do you feel that the attacks are justified? No. Do you feel that there could be some room for misunderstanding?
Yes.
Do you feel that the two of you could have a little different point of view?
Yes.
Do you feel that she feels under attack and that's why she attacks?
Could be, yes.
Do you feel that she feels attacked not just by you or not even much by you, but by circumstances or by life or by not having things the way she wants it to be?
Yeah.
Do you think she's sort of prickly because she's just uncomfortable in general? And do you think that it's logical that when you feel like that you might be more biting yourself or more attacking yourself?
Yes.
Do you think that your inner being sees her as an attacker or as someone who's asking for something that she deeply wants?
I think asking for something she deeply wants.
Do you think that your inner being sees you as the basis of all of her problems?
No.
So do you feel like if you could be more in alignment with your inner being, that some of these conversations could go better?
Yeah.
Do you think that you could prepare yourself rather than feeling guarded and feeling like you're under attack and being ready for her, which you are? Do you feel that you could be ready for something else? Do you feel that you could take a little time over a period of a few days and prepare a different scenario so that you feel softer and more understanding? Do you think that these conversations could improve if you were more vibrationally ready, if you were more in the receptive mode ready?
Yes.
There's many things that we can think of that you could do that would make her feel better. But you don't want to do them. You stubbornly don't want to do them because you don't think she deserves it, because she's not treating you right either. So it's sort of a stalemate where she's not treating you right, so you're not going to treat her right, so she's not going to treat you right. And so somebody has to give it up. Somebody has to give up the battle. And it's going to be you. And not out of weakness, but out of strength. So as you do some pre-paving until you are actually inspired, we don't want you to go and say things to her that you don't mean, or things that takes effort to say them. And we don't want you to take abuse from someone either. We want you to find a way. We want you to create a new wife. And we don't mean a new wife. She cannot create a new mother, and yet we ask her to create a new mother. We want you to create a new wife with whom you have a different relationship in your own mind. We want you to see her as she really is, and see yourself as you really are, and see the two of you in a relationship that is really who you are before you are engaging. Because someone might say, well, take some flowers to her, it would make her feel good. Not if you don't feel like taking them. In other words, the last thing we want you to do is to fake liking her. We don't want you to fake that. We want you to really like her. And that's what she's feeling. You don't really like her. Not right now. You don't really like her. And we don't blame you. She's been bitchy. But how she's being is beside the point. You loving her is what is the point, you see. Haven't you ever been in an argument with someone where everything that was coming out of your mouth you knew was wrong and making it worse, and you couldn't shut up? You just couldn't stop yourself because there was a momentum and that's the way you were feeling? Well, you've got to find some way of feeling differently than you've been feeling before you engage, because otherwise this is just going to go on and on and on and on and on and on and on, and nobody's having any fun, and it just parlays into something more and more and more that we know for sure that you don't want. So, do you remember when the two of you first came together? You remember when you first met her?
Mm-hmm.
Where were you?
Actually, I was working at a gas station. She worked at McDonald's. So we met at the gas station.
Do you remember what your feeling was when you saw her?
Yes, I thought she was very beautiful.
Yeah. And when you first talked to her, did she make you feel defensive?
No.
Did the conversation make you want to open up and show more of yourself to her?
Yes.
And when you did it feel good?
Yes.
And could you tell that the things that you were saying to her felt good to her too?
Yes.
You remember the first time you made love?
Yes.
Do you remember that realization that this was something really good and really wanted, you see?
Yes.
That's who you are. That's what this relationship is, you see. So we want you to think about that for a little while, or things like that, before you go home, so that when you walk in, you're that guy that was over there who was cute too and that saw her. And we want you to feel the clicking that you felt and the natural desire that was in each of your vortexes as your inner beings led you to each other. As your inner beings led you to each other, led you to the core of who you really are. And sure, you got some stuff you got to figure out, because everybody's expanding and everybody's out of the vortex sometimes. Everybody's not in the receptive mode from time to time. But the majority of who you are is someone who wants to be connected to that, and her too.